Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And I don't know if this beef between the UFC and ESPN's legit, but they need to get their stuff together right now. Because these fight nights that we've been having to sit through as fans recently, borderline unwatchable, borderline terrible. And I'm a diehard. I don't miss fight cards. I try to watch every single one. And even me, man, I'm sitting here, I can barely watch these things. You guys want me to sit here and give you a 7-minute breakdown, trying to act like I'm some smart guy and knows all the analytics and everything between Marvin Vettori and good old Roman Dolidze? Get out of here. Get out of here. No way. There ain't no way I'm doing it. I refuse to. So until they actually start getting their stuff together, where ESPN's mad at the UFC for having low pay-per-view numbers, the UFC's mad at ESPN for having terrible streaming services and all these people having problems, until we get this figured out, man, we're going to be sitting here through some tough cards. UFC's not going to go all out for ESPN. They're going to save all their stuff for Netflix. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a rough one. And luckily for us fans, we do have some major fights coming up here in the next few weeks. But all in all, the fight cards are still going to be I don't know if I should be watching these, but with that being said, I'm trying to have some fun with the MMA world, some fun with the UFC. So let's get into it. I'm going to try to predict who will dethrone every current UFC champion. Now, let's kick it off here with the light heavyweight division, the most recent title fight that we just watched. And Magomed Ankalaev went out there and took out Alex Pereira. And I know a lot of people called it controversial, robbery, all these things. I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't like when I see titles switch hands on a decision. But Magomed Ankalaev won that fight. So most likely it seems like we're going to get a rematch. And when we really look at the lay of the land, anything could really happen, but your most likely leaders to maybe take out Magomed Ankalaev or Alex Pereira, Yuri Prochazka, Khalil Roundtree, Jamal Hill, maybe good old Jan Blachowicz, but we can't forget we do have a Carlos Ulberg versus Jan Blachowicz fight here in like a week. If Carlos Ulberg goes out and takes Jan Blachowicz, I could see him maybe getting that push, being Israel Adesanya's teammate and everything. He's been getting the push. He's been finishing people. And, Khalil Roundtree's stock is at an all-time high. And he takes Jamal Hill on here in a couple weeks. And if either one of them win, I could see them riding that high that Khalil Roundtree's got, win or lose, to try to get whoever into that title picture, I guess. But all in all, I'm going to be real with y'all. The only real guy is, good old Johnny Walker. Psych. But for real, if it isn't Alex Pereira in this rematch, then I really don't know if anybody's going to take out Magomed. And I do think it's going to take about 2 or 3 title defenses before Magomed Ankalaev starts getting his love and his flowers. Because although he is such a technical fighter, such a great stand-up fighter, such a great grappler, such an all-around well guy, even his defense is amazing. So with all this being said, somehow he's still, considered a boring fighter. And again, it's going to take 4 or 5 title defenses before he truly starts getting his, flowers and everything. And for the sake of the video, if I have to pick one person to dethrone Magomed Ankalaev, I'm going to have to lean Alex Pereira. I think the 25 minutes that he's already got experience with him, and he didn't even get his offense off that night and still stuffed all the takedowns. I truly love Alex Pereira, and I could sit here and understand the argument. I would let you guys argue the whole fact of Yuri Prochazka. I love Yuri. There's always something about him. He's just a true warrior. I feel like he could get the job done. But outside of that, I'm really expecting a big title run out of this man, Magomed Ankalaev. So let's get on with it. Now, when we get into the next few, this is just fun now, because the last time that we talked about these, the lightweight or the featherweight divisions, it was still champion Islam Makhachev and still champion Ilia Topuria. But with Ilia Topuria dropping the belt now, this just makes it a lot of fun. 145 featherweight division. We got a fight literally in a month or 3 weeks or something. Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez for the interim belt, or I guess it is the actual championship now, but the vacated belt. And I want to pick Volkanovski, but at the same time, I'm going to pick him. I think he could beat Diego Lopez. And even if Diego Lopez wins, I'm trying to think who could dethrone either one of those guys. And when it comes to 145, Max Holloway just moved up. Leah just moved up. You're going to have your guys like Evloev. You're going to have him there. You're going to have somebody like Aljo that maybe could shock the world. You got some killers, man. You got Pitbull versus Yair Rodriguez coming up. And all in all, man, I think the one guy right now that I think most of us are looking forward to is this man, John Silva. This dude is a killer. Out of Team Fight Nerd, I might announce 3 or 4 of his, of his teammates here when we're talking about other divisions. But This man, Jan Silva, man, he is a killer. This dude is just fun to watch. And if he keeps going out there, he's going to turn right back around and fight Bryce Mitchell here in a couple weeks. If he goes out there and just starches him, I mean, everybody hates Bryce Mitchell right now for all the weird comments that this man's been making. And he's just going to blow up into a bigger star, especially if he can get a highlight reel knockout again like he's been doing. He could go right up to the front of the line because I hate to be mean. Magomed Ankalaev, I mean, we love the guy. He deserves to probably be up there. But the UFC doesn't like him. He's boring, at least to them. He think you're not somebody who's going out there and finishing guys. You're a great grappler, cool, but we don't see you put your neck out there. You don't really have fun fights when it comes to the general public. So, no, we're cool. I mean, if Pitbull Freire comes out here and knocks out Yair Rodriguez, my goodness, that could be a fun one. Pitbull versus Volk, I mean, my God, that would be a lot of fun. But all in all, this just feels tainted a little bit, man. I love Volkanovski. I love Diego Lopez. I just feel like these guys deserve to have a chance against Ilia Topuria, like the featherweight, or not the featherweight, but the undisputed champ. It just hurts a little bit. But I'm picking Volk over Diego. I can see Diego going out there and starching him, but Volk is so good, and I really think Diego gets gassed every time we see him in the third round. So, I mean, all in all, I think in the fourth, fifth round, Volk he's just running sprint. He's just running cross country, and we got our man Diego Lopez that tried to sprint and just got too gassed, and we could see it going very bad for him in that third, fourth, fifth rounds. But when it comes to just one single fighter that's going to take the belt from Volkanovski or Diego Lopez, it's going to take more than a decision merchant like this man Magomed Ankalaev. It's going to take more than, Aljo. It's going to take more than Yair Rodriguez. So I'm leaning Jon Silva, and my backup pick is by far Pitbull Freire. I think everybody's been wanting that fight forever. I think it works really well at both guys' career, especially if Volk wins and Pitbull wins. Similar ages, similar longevity. I mean, it could be a really fun fight, so I wouldn't be shocked at all either. So you guys let me know. Now, when we get to the lightweight division, this one's got to be probably the most dynamite one right now because, like I said, Ilia Topuria just dropped the 145 belt to go up to 155. And I don't know, man. You got Arman Tsarukyan. You got Charles Oliveira. You got Justin Gaethje now making a little argument. You got all these people at 155 that really could, I guess, make a splash. You can't even forget right now, Michael Chandler is giving good old Paddy Pimblett a shot. If Paddy Pimblett goes out there and shocks Michael Chandler quick, I could see them going, all right, new blood, Paddy Pimblett, we've been pushing him for a while. Maybe he gets a shot and all this, but I'm torn, man. Arman Tsarukyan backed out, kind of just shot his whole title wad out the picture. Charles Oliveira has already been there, done that with Islam. I think Islam's done with the rematches. If it's not Ilia Topuria, which I think could easily do it, at the end of the day, I just think Islam's moving up. I think he's going to win one more time, or even if he doesn't win, say JDM somehow beats Belal here in a month, Islam's moving up and taking 170. I don't care what it happens. So when it comes to 155, I love y'all out there that want Topuria to win, that want Gaethje to win, that want Charles to win, that want Arman to win, that want even Paddy Pimblett, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, you name it. You name the guys out there. I know you guys want them to win. But Islam Makhachev is just a different talent, man. He's just so good. And we've already, if somebody was going to take him out, I think they would have had a chance by now. So without this being, I just think it's Islam Makhachev all day, and I think he just vacates the belt. And then if we're going to talk about who's going to take over after that, I could see an Arman versus Ilia Topuria match. I could see a Charles versus Ilia. I could see Charles versus Arman. I could see all these fights. You can name them. It doesn't really matter at that rate because the true champion went up to 170. So you guys let me know what you think. I just don't see anybody at 155 beating him unless it's Topuria, but he's already kind of been floating it out there that he was not willing to take that fight. He's got to see him fight somebody first. So it's tough when it comes to that one. And then probably the next funnest one, probably the most, probably fun champion currently, Dricus Du Plessis at middleweight. This dude has just absolutely shocked me. Every single time I picked against him, I picked against him last fight against Sean Strickland. I picked against him the first fight against Sean Strickland. I picked Izzy against him. Like, there's so many things that happen, and I'm just sitting here like, man, he shocks me every time. He absolutely gave me one of the most depressing nights ever as a Robert Whittaker fan. Went out there, starched his ass super quick, and ever since, man, I've just grown to become a fan. I just love the dude. And with that being said, I'm still picking Khamzat to beat him in the next fight. How can you not pick Khamzat? Khamzat's a killer. And I can see a world where Dricus uses that gas tank, uses that size to not let Khamzat get him down, or at least not finish him in the first 2 seconds. And then if he can get it out like a Gilbert Burns, a Kamaru Usman type fight, Yeah, I think this man Dricus Du Plessis going to go out there and do the damn thing. But Khamzat knows Dricus and these guys like Robert Whitaker and all these guys. He knows they're different, man. So I would like him to use his experience that he's had already with all his fights that he's had in the UFC, being at the top of the line since, or at least when it comes to the card placement and fans watching. And he's one of the top guys right now, and he's been that way since his second, third fight in the UFC. So I think he's got that experience in him now. And I think he really could get the job done. And then again, I could be caught, again, just looking stupid, picking against Dricus, all because he's got a funky fight stance and a funky fight style. And just every time I think he looks gassed, he's really not. So, I mean, now that I'm a believer in him, I'm still picking Khamzat. But you guys could pick almost anybody at 185. Imavov's a killer. Cal Borrellio's a killer. Shouts out Team Fight Nerd. Like I've been talking about. I mean, there's some killers at 185 that could still do the damn thing. But all in all, I think Khamzat gets it done. I have to go with Khamzat. He's a killer. He's a chosen one for a reason. So you guys let me know. And when it comes to the good old bantamweight, when we talk about Merab Dvalishvilli, he's become one of the fan favorites. I mean, what his way going out there and take out Umar, and usually when it comes to decision merchants, man, a lot of people hate him. A lot of people think they're boring. But Merab is everything but boring. He's one of the only people that you can probably count on a couple fingers that have ever made grappling fun. And Khabib's one of them. Jon Jones is one of them. But even with Jon Jones, just such a striker and so much fun and whatnot with his striking that Merab, when he comes out there and just does the thing, I mean, it's super cool to see. He goes out there, takes somebody out like Umar that's been hyped up forever. His gas tank is just crazy. Like, I stuck with it. The last time I did this video, I picked Merab over Umar. And I'm going to stick with the same answer I said last time. If anybody's going to take out Merab, it's going to be a sniper. It's going to be somebody that can take his lights out. And the only two people I can think of are Corey Sandhagen and Sugar Sean O'Malley. And it seems like Sugar Sean might get that chance again. And with Sugar already having 25 minutes in the tank with him, I mean, I could really pick. I think I'm picking Sugar Sean because we got Corey Sandhagen fighting Figgy. If Divas and Figueiredo goes out and takes out Corey Sandhagen, you know, they're between Piotr Jan, good old, Figgy. Those guys are killers, man. I just think Merab, anybody around that size is Merab. I think you could probably outstrike him for the first 2 or 3 rounds, but his just gas tank is just going to kill you by the end, and it's going to be ugly. You're going to see some 10-8. You're going to see some ugly stuff. So if it's not somebody like Corey Sandhagen or Sugar Sean, the snipers and tall guys that can take the lights out, realistically, man, I don't know if anybody's taking out Merab. I think it's going to be one of those vacated things or retirement or something, but I have to pick Sugar Sean. I think he's the next best thing. He's the next chance that we got. He had a close fight with him. Didn't really get too dominated, just kind of couldn't get off offensively. So all in all, I think I have to pick Sugar Sean, but I'm excited for it no matter what. I love Merab. I'm never mad at him staying champ. So with him, his charisma, the way he's getting fans over, it's awesome to see. So 135 is a lot of fun currently, and I thought they were going to go downhill after Sugar lost, but I was wrong. I'll tell you guys that right now. So if we keep it going, welterweight, my least favorite champion in the entire of the UFC, but I have to be honest, he is a killer, Belal Muhammad. And this is tough. He's got a big fight against Jack Della Maddalena coming up. I didn't think Jack Della was worth it at that time. I don't think he was ready, but Shavkat wasn't ready to take the fight. And if I'm being honest here, I just don't think JDM has it. I wouldn't be shocked if JDM wins. I want him to win because I don't like Belal, but I really think Belal gets it done against JDM. I think he makes it look kind of easy. I wouldn't be shocked if he starts putting the hurt on him like he did against Sean Brady. Just kind of has that feel. And when we're at 170, man, you got the Carlos Prates out in the world. Shouts out again. Good old Team Fight Nerd. Just these guys are just killers. You got Michael Morales has got a good fight against Gilbert Burns. If he can go out there and take him out, I could see him maybe getting that push. But all in all, 170 is still a lot of fun. You still got the Usmans out there. Leon Edwards got a big fight against Sean Brady. If Sean Brady takes out Leon, that could get him up there. It's a lot of fun at 170. But if we're being honest here, I think the only true answer, if it's not Shavkat Rakhmonov, it's the one, the only Islam Makhachev, the deserving one of the one and only, unlike Alex Pereira. Come on, Bruce. You're better than that. But I think Islam goes up 170. I think he gets the job done. I've been very vocal about that. I kept that answer last time. Now, there have been reports, though, we will be honest here. If Islam's not willing to move up because Belal's the champion, then I got to pick Shavkat probably to dethrone him, and then Islam goes up and takes on Shavkat, which is just one of the funnest fights ever. So regardless, some sort of way I got Shavkat or Islam Makhachev taking the belt here. So when we go into the flyweight, good old Alexander Pantoja, let's just keep this short and simple. I don't think anybody's beating him. And if we're being honest, the only two guys that I think that could are Kai Kara France and Manel Cape, and they seem to be the next two in line. So we're going to see this, but Alexander Pantoja has been so much fun, and I think he's so underrated as a champion right now. And the way he's been just running through, he's got the cardio, he's got the aggressiveness. Like, I've never seen somebody that just runs through some of his guys like that. Divison Figueiredo did the same, but he didn't have the gas tank that Alexander Pantoja could. He couldn't keep up 4 or 5 rounds of that tank. He would kind of lose that third, fourth round every single time, or even the 5th round. You would see him lose one of those really badly where he had to take the round off. This man Pantoja just goes forward at all time and is such a killer, so technical. I love the guy. I could see him going up to 135 by next year or something. There's only a few more fights for him anyway. So you guys let me know, man. 125 has always been so underrated. I feel bad for Mighty Mouse, but Alexander Pantoja is just as fucking good. That dude's a killer, man. And just people are just sleeping on him. So I don't think I have anybody. I think it's a vacancy. I really do. I don't think anybody's beating him. But if they are... Kai Kara France and Manel Cape got the knockout power. It's one of them. They can catch him. I can see it, but I just don't. And then to finish this out with probably the easiest one to talk about currently, because it's not even set in stone yet, and there's only one option. But when it comes to the heavyweight division, Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall, it's the only fight we want to see. It's the only fight that matters. If Jon Jones wins, he's going to retire, and guess who's going to take over? Tom Aspinall. If Tom Aspinall wins, Jon Jones still going to retire, and guess who's going to take over? Tom Aspinall. So your only winner as who's going to dethrone Jon Jones or at least take over afterwards is Tom Aspinall. It just comes down to if they can get this fight done, and after that, there's nobody that's going to beat Tom Aspinall unless they can get the whole Francis Ngannou fight going, I guess. But outside of that, there's no way. And if they do, if it's some lucky-ass knockout like Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez, they're going to give good old Tommy a rematch, and he's going to run right through whoever knocked him out. Volkov, Cyril Gane, Curtis Blades. It don't matter. Nobody's going to be touching these guys. Heavyweight is terrible. I've been saying it for the last 3 videos I've done of these. Terrible, terrible, terrible division. So outside of Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall, which is the greatest fight in the UFC currently, do we even care? So you guys let me know. Those are my choices. Those are my picks. And of course, I went into detail. But you guys let me know who y'all think. And as always, your boy, Stephen Moustaris. Let's go, baby. Let's go.